Hello, witches of the Hekatean Gnostic Circle. First, let me apologize for not getting y'all a video done in a while. I've just been so focused on other things that I haven't really been able to sit down and devote to teaching the in-depth Gnosis in this group. I've been doing a lot of other videos of lesser knowledges on my YouTube channel, and I've been dealing a lot with issues lately, but I'm going to be doing a bunch of the pure Gnosis videos for you guys. Coming up. So I'm just able to more focus on y'all again, okay? So this is going to be a lesson on, well, what Hecate taught when she taught it to me in 2014. She called it the path to becoming, okay? So hopefully you all have taken the lessons, the previous lessons of the Gnosis, and been applying it, like the keys of light and the knowledge about the Merkaba, light body, and all of that. Okay, so I'm going to read this excerpt. The path to becoming. There is a path to becoming. To let go of the dream and leave it as a forgotten place. The dream is not evil, and our great mother, she always guides us through it. But there is a threshold that she dares us to cross, though it must be traversed alone. A final passing that leads on to infinite growth. This door must be opened, and our mother, she gives us the keys. At this new doorway, she gives us her torch, a great fire and light that illuminates all that we see. From now, she says, we are to carry her on our way. I have given you all you need, she says. I have planted my seeds and watched them grow. Now it is for you to go forward and claim my fruits. For behold, you have entered the path to becoming, and each step you take is for me. Mystery of mysteries, thy flesh has become as my soul. Okay, so that is the excerpt that I wanted to read to y'all about the path to becoming. It is a process, it is a transition, of which the keys of light are a vital role in that, and application of them. And it's a greater becoming of the Hekatean Gnosis itself, of her own power and mind and soul merged into you as a vessel. Okay? So the next thing I want to share, I'm going to go ahead and put it in this video as part of this, is more just of the pure Gnosis itself. And so I titled this The Gnosis of Hecate, and I said, it says, It is necessary to talk about the mind in three levels, only until the gnosis of its oneness is actualized. So we have the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious. Until the gnosis of oneness, our awareness is limited to certain parts of the mind, and this will be unique to each person. In order to obtain the gnosis, we must unify the three levels of mind by growing our awareness to encompass all three. I will emphasize that mind cannot ever actually be divided, but awareness very much can. Since mind is already unified, all we really have to do is teach our awareness that it is so. And it is the function that Hecate fulfills. She is the part of your mind that retains the perfect knowledge of its own unity. Here, she steps forward to be our guide and our teacher, always offering her wisdom to reintegrate our partitioned awareness back into the one. Now, awareness is limited to the conscious part of the mind, and to some extent subconscious too. So mainly, Hecate's role is to bring information from the unconscious to the subconscious and then to the conscious. And so too does she retrieve information from the unconscious when she is asked or prayed to by the conscious mind. This is done through prayer, which produces epiphanies, but also through meditation, contemplation, and communion. All of these can be described as awareness probing the unconscious mind. And now Hecate, seeing our attempts, rushes forward to the conscious mind, bringing with her all relevant information and messages, which she will then assimilate to our subconscious and conscious, or perhaps leave some parts in the subconscious that will pop up into our dreams and as psychic flashes and intuitions at a later time from when you even do the prayer and communication with her. Hecate will continuously fulfill this function, answering all questions you could ever pose to her. Always, she is hoping that you will recognize that this whole process is the inner workings of your own mind, which you inevitably will once so much of the unconscious mind has been reaccepted into the awareness. And this too is the process by which you come to know thyself, as awareness that you have limited to your body and the material world is shifted to allow and incorporate that which you truly are, the one mind. And here Hecate fulfills her role as teacher and reconciler of the divided mind, but never does she go away as the guide. For here, that which was before, the unconscious, the one mind, the true self, is realized to be eternal and infinite, and brought to your awareness through Gnosis. The infinity of its potential can never be all known, but it can be forever drawn upon through the medium of Hecate, the Gnosis itself. Then you will know the mind as one, the illuminated self-teacher and self-guide, and Hecate is the same being in every person. Bodies and forms do not divide her, just as they do not divide the one mind itself. But it is true that the knowledge she offers may be accepted or denied by awareness. Hecate offers truth and wisdom. She never compels its acceptance. Being a part of the one mind, as your own mind, and your own mind, which are the same, you have the power to deny her not in actuality, but in awareness. Indeed, this is what caused the partitioning of awareness to begin with. And the body is the perfect scapegoat with which to say, I am that, I limit myself to this form, I am a separate being now, and I choose what my reality is or not by shaping my awareness around it and for it. This is not to say that the body or the material world is evil, but that misperceptions of their functions establishes the idea of separation and thus leads to inevitable conflict. The power of awareness is such that even misconceived realities based on body-centered perception can be believed in, but this too is a testament to the power of mind itself, that even when it is confused about what it is, that all of our actions and everything we think or say is perfectly and powerfully controlled by its choice of what it decides to identify itself as. And here it is brought full circle as to why the mind's true identity had to be preserved and retained in Hecate. That even when the mind is confused about what or who it is, she constantly offers remembrance of truth, of the self beyond form, the gnosis of the one. Okay? So hopefully that's understandable to you all. And it's just a further extension of the other videos, lessons I have already given you all, that basically your mind is already merged with Hecate. And through her, it is already merged with the one mind, with the divine mind itself. So everything is a holographic projection. It's spheres within spheres. And so what Hecate teaches us is growing our awareness out of the limited human perception. It wasn't always, like this. This is the result of what society has done to the human mind, okay? Let me emphasize that as well. But in this present society, in this present world, it is necessary to expand your awareness back to its original form of the human template, okay? So what we have to understand is that we are the divine mind, we are the Most High God, deity, source, whatever you want to call it. In smaller and smaller fractals, okay? And so even though we each have our own separate body, this is just a physical cell that is a vessel to the one mind, or to the source energy, the source spirit itself, okay? Hecate was the first created being out of the source. In some ways, she's just, you can think of Hecate and the source as actually being two sides of one coin, actually, because when I say that she was created by the source, it could give a false impression that she's something lesser than it or beneath it, but that's not actually accurate. It's more like she's one side of a coin with the source. She's is its exact equal. But whereas the source is pretty much chaos because of its infinity and eternity. Hecate is the stabilizing aspect because she has a limited, finite reality consciousness. Okay? So that's why we call her, the one who works her will, her power to loose or to bind all things. Her power is the power of constriction, limitation, binding, not in a negative sense, but in a sense of, this is the blueprint of a finite reality. Okay? So she still draws upon the power of the source, but she puts it into an organized way. Okay? I hope that makes sense to y'all. So through these levels of awareness, Hecate being part of our mind already, all we have to do is learn how to communicate with her within our own mind. So I touched upon that in past videos already for y'all with the telepathic communication with the goddess Hecate. Hopefully y'all have been practicing that. It's just about growing your awareness to include that she is a living being, a living spirit that is inside of your mind already. And that through her, you are already connected to the source and to everything else. So it's just about growing your awareness. That's what the path to becoming is. It is where you've gone so far of recognizing that Hecate is not just a teacher or guide. She is in fact a very vital part of your own spirit. It's your own spirit, okay? Fixate on that. Okay, your own spirit. She is a part of that. So, this is like a transitional understanding, okay? Because it's like you're looking in a reflection in a mirror, and then that suddenly shifts, okay? Understand that. You're looking at Hecate. She's a reflection of you. She's a reflection for you. And then a magical moment happens when you understand this, and it shifts perspective, and now suddenly you're looking at yourself, okay, in a more profound way, because you understand that this being, Hecate, is a reflection of a deeper and more powerful and more connected part of your own spirit and your own consciousness, okay? So, when it comes down to that aspect, you just need to experiment with it. Praying to her, praying to her, and altars to her, and just communicating with her. If you don't want to call it prayer, just talking to her in your mind, or through prayer, through meditation, however you want to do it. That still remains vitally important, okay? Because even though she is a part of your spirit, a part of you, she is also connected to the source, to the unconscious. Now, the word unconscious means that you can never be conscious of it. So, even though the unconscious is a greater part of your own mind and of the one mind, it can never be understood or grasped by your conscious awareness. So Hecate in that role still stays important as a mediator, because she does have access directly to the unconscious, and she can bring you all of the information, gnosis, and knowledge that you need, and guidance from that to your conscious awareness. Okay? So it still remains important to always maintain a relationship with Hecate, in the aspect of altars to her, prayers to her. Keep that relationship going, because even though Hecate is a part of your mind and your own spirit, you still need to have a relationship with her, because she is not exactly your own consciousness as far as your human perspective, human perception. She is you, but she's also something greater. Okay? So it's necessary to keep this dynamic of a relationship with her ongoing, because in that sense, you are making a relationship and a connection with a greater part of your mind that has access to greater power and knowledge and wisdom. Okay? So, Hecate always remains, the most important aspect to this. Now, what happens with the path to becoming? Hang on, y'all. I was considering pausing this video for a minute because I need a cigarette. Okay. Now what happens with the path to becoming is that this transition takes place where you understand that these outer mysteries become internalized. And even when as they become internalized, when you understand these forces to be part of your own mind, it still does not mean that this is only psychological. Okay? I don't want you to fall into this view of viewing this all as just mentalism and psychology, because that's not actually accurate either. It's actually, once again, it's a holographic reality. It is spheres within spheres. Your psychology and its 3 levels is one of the spheres within spheres. Okay? Then within a greater sphere, it is actually these spiritual forces. So what am I trying to say? In case that wasn't clear enough. The psychological model is exactly that. It is a model. And then the spiritual model, which we have with the divine triad, or the Holy Trinity, is a spiritual model. So what I'm telling you is that these are the same thing. But what am I trying to say? They're the same thing, okay, but they're being understood through different models because there is a psychological aspect to it, even while there is a spiritual aspect to it. And so this is where the mysteries of as within, so without come together in a nexus vortex, and as above, so below meet. This is the mergence of heaven and earth and hell. Okay, all of it merges because there's an underlying core to all of it. Even while it remains important to also master and understand and comprehend the psychological model and the spiritual model. So I talked about this in one of my YouTube videos when I was talking about the elements, the power of spirit. What I was saying is that you can't escape the psychological aspect of everything because your mind plays a role in everything that you experience. So even though spirits are real, you can't experience them separate from your own psychology because your own psychology is underlying everything that you experience. Your own psychology is that by which you do experience things. Okay? So this is why the inner mysteries need to be mastered and understood, as well as the outer mysteries, because you need to understand what parts of your own psychology are perceiving the spiritual realm. You need to understand the mechanisms of your own mind and which parts of your mind correlate to which parts of the spiritual reality. Okay? It is how it is mastered, because once you understand that, you then have more control, influence, and empowerment. Okay? And this is the path to becoming, because what you're doing is you're taking that outer spiritual model, you're internalizing it, filtering it through your own psychology, and thus you are mastering it and becoming it. Okay? And so that doesn't mean that the spirits go away. I just want to emphasize that point. It doesn't mean that the spiritual model is false. Do not fall into that misunderstanding that this is just all psychology, because that is not accurate. It's just that they are interrelated. Okay? And it's just that you're knowing your psychology and this model of the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind is your personal key to the spiritual realities and the spiritual realms. Okay? So hopefully that all makes sense to you. I'm just thinking for a minute if there's anything else I need to include on this video. I do want to include this particularly for Kevin because of the video that you posted in the group, and you're talking about how Hecate was telling you to merge Christian thought with her mysteries. And that's what this is about. Okay, this is what the path to becoming is all about. The Holy Trinity, the Divine Triad, as above, becoming integrated with the inner mysteries that Goddess Hecate teaches us, which is so below. Okay? It's the integration. And this is a process of purifying you. This is a process of apotheosis and ascension of your own soul into something greater. And so once again, just to wrap this up and bring it full circle, it is about your awareness and growing your awareness, pushing your awareness further and further into this knowledge of the divine and of your own self and how they're connected. So, I'm going to conclude this video on that note. I will be back with more videos and lessons, going more further into this and other things that Hecate has taught me. I just hope that you all apply the different lessons from these videos and share your experiences with us in the group. And also, if you have any questions, just let me know. Okay? I'll see you all in the next videos. Blessed be.